What is your background in tech? How did you find tech? How did you get into it?
I've always just been on the hardware side though, hardly any software. And I couldn't see myself doing that for the rest of my life. I quit my job and...
It's cold turkey, like quit and said, I'm gonna start coding now?
So recently I just started disc golfing.
Oh really, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get a game together. I'm terrible by the way, but I'll totally play. Welcome, man. Good to have you with us today.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Jumping in, having these conversations, getting to know the team. I've really enjoyed the last few and I'm looking forward to this one. So let's just get into it. What is your background in tech? How did you find tech? How did you get into it? What brought you to tech?
So I've always been interested in computers. My dad was like, he seemed to be like one of the first person to get a computer.
Okay.
And we kind of got interested in that, me and my brother and my father. And I've always just been on the hardware side though, hardly any software. I guess my first programming was, I built a website, personal website, and it's still hosted. I happened to check and it kind of works.
Kind of works, yeah.
It was before HTML5 and CSS, so I guess that's why it's not actually rendering.
The days of Flash and stuff.
Yeah. So I ended up attending a technical college and I learned on the hardware side, and I ended up getting a job as a field service technician, driving to different locations, fixing computer equipment, their equipment. And I couldn't see myself doing that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of friends that they got into programming and they said, hey, you should try programming. And I ended up making the switch. I quit my job and...
It's cold turkey, like quit and said, I'm going to start coding now?
Not exactly cold turkey, but about a year.
Okay.
After I made the decision, I was like, okay, I'm just going to work really hard, work long hours and save up. And I quit. This was back in Missouri. And I quit and I came down here to Fresno. I had family here and tried to focus on software development.
That's cool.
I ended up joining a coding school to get better structure, because I was kind of just jumping everywhere, learning different languages, and it wasn't really
learn some best practices and stuff, because you have the head knowledge, but it's like, how do I best apply this and follow standards and that sort of stuff? Yeah.
So that's kind of how I got into software development.
Very cool. So what brought you then over to Bixley? What made you kind of make the leap from doing kind of Code Academy stuff, being the freelance, and now kind of getting connected with Bixley?
So the coding school that I went to was an 8-month-long course. And about the 4th month, halfway in, I just happened to look for software development jobs in Fresno, and Bixley came up. But I didn't want to apply right away. This was a year ago, and I just wanted to finish the school first.
Sure.
And the last week of school, I ended up applying to Bixley. The first place I applied that weekend.
Oh, wow.
And
and we called you up and we're like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
What was that process kind of like coming on board with us? I mean, we've obviously hired a few people over the years. Like, what was that like for you? Was that something that was enjoyable, the process working with Bixley? Was that something that was a little crazy? I always love that kind of feedback.
It was interesting because Alexandra had emailed me like the first week of my application, but it went into my spam folder and I didn't actually see it.
Yeah.
And a week later, she emailed me again, and then I happened to check my spam folder and I saw it. I'm like, hey, let's do. She set up a pre-screen interview, but that was around Thanksgiving, so the pre-screen interview couldn't happen until after Thanksgiving because scheduling conflicts. And then she gave me the coding test, but then the coding test was around Christmas, so I had to like...
It just kind of keeps you,
It kept getting postponed, and then I had an interview after the coding test, and a few months later, now I'm here.
Now you're here. So it was a long process, but it was worth the wait, which is good. Yeah. So you're here at Bixley now. You're obviously working with us. What are some of the things that you like about working at Bixley?
Sometimes you get free food. You guys order food for us. And, and you guys play games, take breaks. My previous job, I would work 7 days straight.
Oh, wow.
Towards my last year there, sometimes I wouldn't get a weekend off in 2 months. Every 2 months I would just, but that was kind of my doing.
It was like self-inflicted. You kind of, all right.
Because I wanted to possibly just save up and just quit. So
yeah.
So that was my doing that. The work-life balance there was kind of bad. Here, the work-life balance, it's pretty good.
Much better.
Yes, much better, especially compared to my previous job. But
that's good.
Yeah.
We're obviously kind of stretching you day in and day out, learning new technologies and things like that. What is some of the stuff that, it may be things that we're doing here, but it might also be stuff you're learning on the side. What are you excited about in tech right now? What new up and coming things make you get out of bed every morning and want to, show up?
So actually, I just learned about this it's new to me. I guess it was out for a while, but it's a mapping.
Mapbox.
Mapping library. It's called ARCGIS, Geographic Information Systems.
Okay.
It's you can use their mapping technology, and you can do different things mapping different coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to be trying it out last week, and it was a map of Santa Monica, and you could just click on a bookmark, and it would just take you directly to it if you clicked on a certain bookmark.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking of trying to play with it just to see what I could do. I had an idea for an application.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you want to
jump into the inside. We can offline that, but
it's not really a secret. No, it's not really big technical. So I had this idea. My previous job, I drove around a lot to different locations, and I would see, on the side of the road, they have the roadside memorials. And I always just wondered, like, what's their story? What happened? All this stuff. So I thought maybe that would be a good application to, if you could pull up the app and you could see their roadside memorial and you click on it, and then you could see, like, hey, this is the person,
There's the story. Wow.
Maybe their loved ones can write a little something on there.
Yeah.
So after I found this library app, the ARCGIS, I was like, maybe I could finally
start applying. That's pretty cool.
It's been a while. Like, I had this idea for like 5 years, so that's what I was thinking of working on the side.
Well, don't let that idea go by the wayside. That's pretty awesome, and definitely if you could help, give some of these families, just an opportunity to have some closure, keep memories alive. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we've obviously talked tech, which is great. What else do you do outside of tech? I know you have some other hobbies, other passions. Like, what are those?
So I used to stream.
Used to stream?
Well,
okay.
My internet's been kind of bad lately. The upload speed is kind of bad, and I used to stream on Twitch, but that's kind of on the back burner right now.
What were you streaming?
Mainly Fortnite. At first, I was doing Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then I kind of got bored with that, and I moved over to Fortnite, and there's so many streamers out there that, I don't know, it's hard to make a living out of it, I guess.
Could be a little bit of a saturated market.
Yeah. Thousands of people start every month. But so recently I just started disc golfing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, I go out there, and I've only been there twice because it's just been a couple of weeks. But it's a lot of form. Your form has to be just right, or your frisbee can go
in all which ways.
Any which way, Yeah. So the second time I went, I think my form was better, but I still need to work on it. Maybe probably this weekend go again and practice.
That's good. Well, once you feel, comfortable inviting more people out, let's get a game together. I'm terrible, by the way, but I'll totally play because my form is awful. But I think it could be fun. So most definitely.
I heard Aaron was pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. We have quite a few people here that actually really enjoy doing the disc golf. So we should probably put together a little Bixley sanctioned disc golf day and call it an outing.
Yeah.
Could be fun. Well, cool. This was so much fun, Sone. I really appreciate you taking some time to just kind of really have a candid conversation and just talk about your backstory. So good to have you with Bixley, and looking forward to doing another one of these again in the future.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Meet the Bixley Team. I hope you enjoyed getting to know Sone a little bit better. He's one of our favorite team members here. We're so glad to have him here. And don't forget to check out the special links that we have for you in the description down below. You can find a link to our free custom software guide, which will walk you through the steps of getting through planning your own custom app idea, whether that be for web or mobile or both, whatever your solution might look like. You can also check out our website, bixley.com. And at the very top of our website, there's a button that says Validate Your App Idea. If you click that, you can schedule a free meeting with Chris, 60 minutes to talk about your app idea, and we'll point you in the right direction. Until next time, this has been an episode of Bixley Tech Tuesday.